Hey everyone, Rua here with a new entry in the Ambuscade archive. This month is a battle against an Alicorn and a Dullahan, and both need to be defeated to win. The main threat here is the Dullahan, who behaves like other Dullahan but has some dangerous unique mechanics, which give him access to 3 moves which could potentially one-shot your entire group. You have to be extremely careful when you get to the Dullahan, but more on that in a moment. There are multiple ways of approaching this battle, but what you're seeing here is a range damage setup with a ninja tank. All the conventional tank jobs will work for this, but I've personally found ninja to be the best of the bunch here. Your bard needs to have Adventurer's Dirge fully merited and optimized for this to work, regardless of the tank you go with. When ready, have them bring both the Alicorn and the Dullahan over, but face both away from the back line. The Alicorn is your first target, and there's 2 things you need to watch out for. The Alicorn has access to Scintillant Lance, which deals extreme light elemental damage in a frontal cone. The Alicorn also absorbs damage during TP moves, which it seems to use often, leading me to believe it has some form of a regain trait. Your DDs need to be careful to not heal it too much and drag the fight out. It also helps a great deal if one of your supports can silence the Dullahan, to prevent it using AoE spells, which will clear the ninja shadows and make their life a lot harder. When the Alicorn falls, move on to the Dullahan, which will by this point have built up a lot of hate towards the ninja, given how Utsuzemi works under Yonin stance. On that note, be sure to refresh Yonin when moving on to the Dullahan. You don't want that to fall, as you're going to need all the hate tools you can get here. The first thing to do with a Dullahan is to make sure it is at least 20 yards away from your backline. This is because the Dullahan has access to a nasty attack called Nether Castigation, which acts exactly like Pain Sink from Omen's Glassy Thinker. Migawari will cancel its damage out for the ninja, but if anyone else gets caught in range, they're history. The Dullahan will frequently use a move called Charging Up, which leads to one of 3 messages and subsequent follow-up attacks. The first is Charging Up. This means that the Dullahan gains an Absorb TP Spikes effect. It will hold TP until a weapon skill is used on it, which can be tough given that your TP is being constantly sapped, but with a Ranger or Corsair it's not a problem. More TP the Dullahan has drained through this effect determines the strength of Atramentus Libations, but it's easily survivable with the right gear and support. This is really the easiest of the 3 to deal with. The second is Rage Boiling Over. This means the Dullahan is now storing damage it takes and will return it in full when it gets enough TP to use Nether Castigation as its follow-up attack. There's 2 ways around this. You can stop all damage and spam lower tier spells like Dia to force castigation for little damage. This can take a long time though. Alternatively, you can drop the hammer and continue pummeling it with weapon skills. If you do the latter, you need to have a ninja tank, or this is simply not going to work. Churzo only lowers extreme damage, it doesn't cancel it like Migawari does. You can do this with melee jobs as well, just have them back out to 20 arms when they see this message and have the ninja force castigation, then continue as normal. The third message is Noxious Miasma. This means the Dullahan is preparing Eisenschneider, an AoE death attack with a massive range. It's going to wipe out your entire group if you don't stop it. Fortunately, stopping it is very simple, just weapon skill it from behind before it goes off. Something that can catch you out very easily is that when you stop Eisenschneider, you'll see the previous Boiling Over message appear. If another weapon skill goes off after the miasma is stopped and you're not prepared for this, there's a pretty good chance someone will accidentally wipe out your group regardless when the Dullahan counters with castigation. When the Dullahan falls below 10% HP, it gains access to Dread Spikes, a no Ionto. Dread Spikes will flatten your ninja and any other melee jobs you have if it's not spotted in time. No Ionto is likewise negated by Migawari, but it's also simple to survive provided no body weapon skills it during its short window. This month's battle took a while to figure out, and like I said at the start, there are other ways of doing this, but this was by far the safest method I found. I'll be sure to provide a link to Ajin's melee method in this video's description if you want to follow that up. The key item for the primer can be easily gotten by going to the Gates Crystal and Sazak battlegrounds via the number 1 bivouac. The Dullahans you need are a few seconds ahead of the place you port into. I'll see you guys next time.